Hello, guys. Well, welcome to another Flourish Field Scratch online game development class with Flourish Field, of course. And today we have another interesting project to work on today. And on my screen, we have a game. We called it Color Switch Game. It's a pretty popular game that involves matching balls with the correct colors in order to move from one level to another. Now let's get straight into the demonstration of this game. So I'll click on the green flag to start my game, and as soon as it says start, I have to be careful. I have to match the color of my ball with the color of the closest barricade. So currently my ball is yellow. I have to try to time it properly so that when it gets to yellow, I'm able to move to the next stage and stay there. If not, I wouldn't be able to move. As you can see, since it is yellow, I have to wait. Once it's yellow, now it's purple. And as you can see, I just have to be patient and time my movement, or rather, the movement of the ball properly while noting the color of the ball. It's important to also note that the color of the ball usually changes as you move. Now that we've said all of that, I think it's time to get started with our codes. And to build this, we need at least two sprites. The first is the ball sprite, and the second will definitely be needing our barricades. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barricades, but we can just use one sprite and duplicate that. So let's quickly do that. Now, I already have my sprites prepared on my computer. I drew them, and if you would also like to draw your sprites, please go ahead, but would try to make sure to prepare the sprites to leave them somewhere attached in the comments section. So for now, I have to add my first sprite, and I would like to add the ball sprite firstly. But because I don't want to upload this, so I'll just go to upload sprite, and I'll select the ball sprite. This is the ball sprite, and I hit open, and I have my ball here, as you can see on my screen. It's pretty small, which is just the perfect size that I would want. And next, I need to add the barricades as well. They're pretty important. So I'll again go to upload sprite, and I'll add the barricade. And there we go. There we go. Now, I need not just one barricade, but I'll need at least 5, just like we saw in the brief demonstration. So to do that, I'll just duplicate this a few more times. And one more time to make it 5. There we go. Spread it out so that we can see the correct number. Okay, 1, 2. Okay. I'm just trying to position them properly so that we can see all 5 of our barricades. Now, if the size of the barricade is too large, we can as well reduce them. So I think we should reduce them to say 70. The size of 70 should be perfect. Yep, 70 is perfect. So I'm going to reduce all the sizes of my barricades to 70 before I begin to write my codes. Because as soon as we're done with the sprites, the next step would be for us to write the codes. So I'm just switching the sizes of my sprites, making sure they are all the same size. And there we go. Now we can move over to writing the codes to help us achieve such color switch game. Now, to record our points, of course, which is common with most games, we would need a variable. So I'm going to create a variable called points, and that variable is going to help me record my points. So I've created a variable, and I'll hit OK. There we go. Now, I have created my variable called points, and now I can begin to write my code. There we go. Now let us start writing our codes from the ball so that at least we can get our ball functioning. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we start our game properly by using the when green flag clicked. Now, after that, we want to make sure that each time we start our game, our points variable, remember the points variable that we created just about now, we said that variable would be used to store our points. So we want to make sure that we set points to 0 to make sure that each time we start our game, points is always going to start at 0. And of course, we want to set a position for our ball. Now, we want the ball to always appear somewhere at the bottom here. So to do that, I'll go look for the block that says go to X, Y, because X helps me set the horizontal position and Y helps me set the vertical position. But for the position of my ball, I want X to be 1 and Y to be negative 168. So I'll just make X 1 and Y is going to be negative 168. And I'll put that here. Now it's a good practice to always test out your code while you're working. So let's test this out to see the starting position of our ball. Now notice how our ball starts somewhere at the center. No matter where we place the ball, as soon as we hit the green flag, it's going to go right to its starting position. Good work. Now, one more thing we need to do though is we need to make sure that the ball is always visible. Because if it is not visible, it's gotta be difficult for us to play our game. And sometimes you never can tell what happens at the end of your game. So let's make our ball visible. And you already guessed right. The block of code we need to make our ball visible is in the looks section. And that block is the show block. There we go. Now, let's move on to the next part of the code. For us to get to the next part of the code, let's count how many colors we have for our barricade. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 different colors for our barricade. And now remember, the ball has to also have about 4 different colors. So we should have 4 costumes for our ball sprite, all with the same color. Now let me show you that I was able to do that. You can see for my ball, I have costume 1, costume 2, costume 3, and costume 4. All 4 different costumes for my ball sprite so that it can switch from one costume to another depending on our movements. Now that we are aware of the costumes of the ball, we need to add another block from the looks section so that when we start our game, we're not able to automatically predict the starting color of our ball. So let's do that real quick. So I'll look for switch costume. Okay, here we go. Now, I do not want to switch it to a specific costume. Rather, I want my costume to be random. So instead of switching costume to costume 4, I would instead switch costume to a random number. Now, it's going to be switching costume between a random number from 1 to 4 because I only have 4 costumes. So I can either have costume 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That way, each time I try to start my game, I can't really tell the color of the ball that I'm going to start with. As you can see, for each time I click the green flag, the color is always random, making our game all the more unpredictable. Now let's make our ball say something so that we can start. Okay, to make it more fun, I'm gonna ask my ball to say something. I want to make it say 3 for 1 second. I'm also gonna make it say 2 for 1 second. And I'm gonna make it say start for another 1 second. Start for another 1 second. Now this is me just trying to create some sort of countdown timer to when we start our game. Now if we test our game now, you can see the countdown. 1, 3, 2, start. Basically, that helps us generate some sort of countdown timer. I hope you understand that now. Alright, moving forward. Now, we need our very good friend, the forever loop. And as we already know, the forever loop helps us repeat any type of code, or rather any block of code we put right inside, as many times as forever. Or basically, it helps you repeat your code till you stop them. So I'm going to need my forever loop in this case, because I want to make sure that my ball is always moving upwards. And to do that, I need my forever loop. Now inside my forever loop, I need to change y. Y is the motion up or down. So I need to change y by a negative number, say -1. So I'm going to look for the block that says change y by, this is it. I'm going to change y by -1. And I'm also going to try to check if on edge bounce, so that the ball is able to bounce. Now, to move forward from where we are to a new stage, we need to hit the space key. So we also need to add that part of the code as well. So let me just scroll this upward to create a little bit of space. Yeah. Now we need to add that part that helps us control the ball by hitting on the space key. Now I'll go look for conditionals, the if then block. This is referred to as a conditional that helps us react whenever we hit the space key. So I'll add that inside the forever block, just like this. And I'll try to fill in the empty blanks. Now the first blank is if key space press, because that's the key I want to interact with. If I wanted a different key, I can always change that, but it's a lot easier using the space key. So whenever the space key is pressed, I want to change my value of y by 10, which means when the space key is pressed, I want to move up by 10 steps. So let me look for the block that says change y by 10. And of course, you shouldn't notice too much when you test it out. So of course, the ball retains its color, and now I'm able to move up and drop down. Can we see that? I'm able to move up and drop down. Now there's still a lot of work left for us to do because we have to react to changes in the color to either score points or lose them. But we'll see again in our next video. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video to keep more of this content rather coming your way. See you in the next video where we get to complete our color switch game. Bye for now. See you soon.